Good morning. It is the Todd and Erin morning stream, and I think you just caught me picking licorice out of my teeth.
What
So
were you doing? Oh, wait.
I didn't know we were on an. Is
wait.
it the Grammy cam?
This is the Grammy cam right there. The Grammy cam. It's an old lady in a rocking chair.
I was just picking
Were you?
licorice out of my teeth.
Let me see. How'd you do?
So that was super,
No.
super classy.
Still got more.
Classy moment.
Do you have a little mirror you can...
I'll fix that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's go to the morning mountain cam while I pick licorice out of my
It's pretty.
teeth.
Look. Right here.
Real technologies.
Bringing you the...
You're experts in lighting, sound, and video. Go to brioaudiovisual.com.
Right. There you go.
There we go.
Let me see now. No, you have to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I'll hold the fort down. I don't want you to be concerned about this entire show. Look, I'm wearing a collar. Every time I wear a collar, people are like, job interview? Maybe. Or a funeral or a wedding. Grammys last night. Or as I like to call them, the Bruno Mars Awards.
Yeah, pretty much.
What did he get? 35 awards?
I think it was 8, right?
Something crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. But
So-
he was cool. So, yeah, I mean, essentially he won Album of the Year, Record of the Year,
Right.
Song of the Year. Best New Artist was Alyssa Cara.
Right.
In the pop field, it was Shape of You from Ed Sheeran.
Nice.
Who just got engaged to his girlfriend he had in junior high school, who's a hockey player.
Can I tell a story about him really quick?
Yeah, because that's adorable.
Okay, so the adorable story is when he was tiny and he was young, people made fun of him all the time. He was bullied on a constant basis. He had a terrible stutter, and he just didn't. He had big glasses, and he just, not that glasses are bad, but for him it was. And he'd raise his hand. He wanted to participate in school, in elementary school, and when they called on him, he would lock up and he couldn't talk. So his dad, I think this is great. So his dad buys him an Eminem, the Eminem rap album. And he learned, because he was so impressed at how fast he could talk, he learned it forward and backwards. And he lost his stutter. Now, obviously, it works for some people, didn't work for others, but how about that? And then, oh, by the way, he's famous. Nice.
You know what, though, I do appreciate the fact, though, that he especially hit on the bullying, because it's so hard to see past your teen years and think that there's anything past that, especially when
It
you're
will
getting
get
bullied.
better. That's
And
always
it's
been
like,
a phrase.
Look, it's not going to be this way forever, and it's
Right.
a huge deal. That being said, we should crush bullying in any way possible, but
Right.
nonetheless.
Who else?
There was a couple of things that were like mildly interesting to me, maybe controversial. In Album of the Year, they had Childish Gambino, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Lord, and then Bruno Mars. Now,
Right.
all four of the guys got to perform solo. And they told Lord, oh, yeah, you're going to perform with somebody else. And she went, well, but all four of the other nominees are
Get to
all...
play.
And they said, no, you're gonna perform with somebody else.
Why is that?
The only woman. I don't know why, but she said, I'm not going to perform, thanks.
Because there's so much...
Because this is especially the year, where
Right,
women are supposed
right.
to be having this
Right.
dance, but they wouldn't let her perform on her own, which is really weird. The other thing that I thought was, and we disagree on this, they had a lot of the singers read from Fire and the Fury, which is the biography about Donald Trump that is less than flattering.
Did you know that Bill Clinton has a Grammy? Do you know that, I'm not sure if Bush
The
does.
spoken word albums,
The
yeah.
spoken word albums for
Carrie
the speeches.
Fisher won this year.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
That's cool. The so they had James, what's his face? He had celebrities read out of the Fire and Fury book about Donald Trump, and then the last guest was which started with a book up in front of her face, was Hillary Clinton, and I think it was hilarious.
I think that was unnecessarily.
Yeah.
I think it made a really clear partisan stand, and I'm not sure.
I think they took shots at Bush, I believe. I think they took shots. Oh, that's still
Nothing-
partisan.
Nothing like this. And the thing is that music is the one commonality that
Right.
binds us all. That is the one thing that transcends language. It transcends politics. It's supposed to transcend everything. So I don't know. I didn't agree with it.
I
but,
did. Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
you left your butt off, and so as long as you're entertained, you're like, I'm okay with it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We are all in danger as we speak. We're in South Jordan, so not as much. But if you live downtown Salt Lake City, you are in danger because a wild animal escaped from the Hogle Zoo. That's Utah's Hogle Zoo.
We live in the foothills right by the zoo. So, yeah, you shouldn't be laughing so hard.
Here's a setup. It's a palace cat. Pallas.
It's like adorable.
It's a smaller cat. Evidently, he was with his brother in their enclosure. They're solitary animals. Plus, him and his brother probably were flirting with the same ostrich or something. And so they moved this guy to a new cage enclosure, and he escaped. Now, I would like to point out the location of the Utah's Hogle Zoo. If you cross the street, there's a trailhead, and you walk immediately into the foothills.
So it's not like he really had like a long trek through a populated area to get away.
No. He might still be in the zoo. He still might be in the zoo.
Yeah. If you were instinctively a cat, what would you do?
Make a break for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure I'd be doing any trailhead walking with my dog today. Just a thought.
Interesting.
So they haven't found any
Cat's like this. He's like this big.
They haven't found any hide nor hair of him then.
Hide nor hair?
Hide nor hair.
No. And so they're looking, and obviously, if they find it, they're going to trank him and bring him back.
I'm guessing with a certain level of urgency too, given the fact that he is a.
Yeah.
Could he survive in the winter here? Is he one of those cats that could survive here?
Voles and rabbits.
What does that have to do with him surviving?
Food.
Well, I was thinking more like
dachshunds.
Cold.
What?
House cats.
You said.
No, I just meant cold. Can he survive the cold here?
Can we go back to the picture, please? I think you'll notice, Erin, by the look of the furry animal.
He has lovely fur.
He does, and he's on the outside when he's in his enclosure.
Then I guess he'll be fine.
They don't call them cages anymore. So now it's a matter of food, and there's a lot of coyotes up there, so we'd have to deal with that. So.
Well, that should be fun.
Yeah. So much for walking up there for a little bit.
Well, it's funny because we just barely had that cat that escaped. Was that last year at Hogle Zoo? But he stayed. They knew right where he was, and they tranked him. And it was interesting. I hadn't realized this till Erica, who's the zoo spokeswoman, and handled that, by the way, very, very well.
She did.
With a lot of grace. Was that when you trank an animal in the movies, it's always like, thunk, they're down. It's like, no, it's like 30 minutes of them yowling and like falling over like they're drunk.
It's like a frat party.
Yeah, until they finally nail them down. So it's going to be an interesting chase.
But that animal was lazy and never left the area. He stayed in the zoo.
Well, he liked the churro stand, and I can't blame him. We all feel that way about churros.
They're not supposed to eat churros.
Well, you're not the boss of him.
Spencer Cox.
Actually, don't we want to talk about Uber Virgins first?
Oh, that's right. We had a new experience.
Uber Eats.
Let's watch. All right, this is our first Uber experience. All right, so.
This is Uber Eats, actually. So basically it works the same way, I guess, as the regular Uber, although I had to re-download the app because they didn't have my address, which makes no sense. But, so it tells you where you can order from, and then it tells you about how much time it's going to take. By the way, a quick disclaimer, Uber's not paying us for any of this.
Not squat.
We just wanted to tell you.
Right.
They could pay us for this, but they haven't. Anyway, so.
Any issues?
And then they bring the food. Well, the first time they were confused and said they didn't have an address, but the second time we reordered, and it's very cool. It shows you when the food is cooking, and then it shows you the Uber car coming.
Really?
Yeah. And then it tells you when he's here. So.
Where did we get the food from?
This is from Cancun Cafe. So.
Ooh, carnitas.
Carnitas and
right.
Shrimp tacos.
So how long did it take?
My shrimp tacos. It took like 25 minutes. That's the one nice thing. It'll tell you, and they even have desserts. It'll tell you exactly how long it'll take between like 25 and 35 minutes. So if you're really hungry and desperate, which, we are, it was between 10 and 20 minutes.
The other cool thing is there's actually a map, and you can see the car driving past you because he has the wrong address. So I ran out in my slippers into the middle of the street screaming Uber. And then we got the food.
That's great.
All right, so what do we think? It's pretty fast.
Everything's hot.
Is it faster than having a pizza place have their own delivery?
And then you can choose to tip or not, but I think every decent human being would. And you can do it on your credit card if you want or something else.
I think that would suck about this.
What?
If I was an Uber driver, then the whole night I was delivering food to other people.
Wouldn't that be mean and you're starving like, I'm going to die now?
I can't be an Uber driver because I would dive into the food. I'm so sorry, but I can't. There's certain limitations every man has. And dragging this food around to somebody else's house, eventually I would pull over in a parking lot and chow it down. What's
I'm
this?
sorry, your food couldn't arrive. Shrimp tacos.
Okay.
Can I at least try shrimp?
I don't want any shrimp tacos,
All right,
Mom.
there you go.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
So that's it. All right.
That's our experience. Hope it helps.
It's so funny. He's always just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to join in and eat your food.
Well, now the poor little thing, she kept reaching out for the chips, and I didn't realize it, and I'm pulling away.
So
it was-
are you signed up for Uber?
Yeah, I mean, we'd used Uber before a lot of times for transportation, but that was the first Uber Eats. So it's not like they didn't have our address, but I think it worked out good the second
But
time.
don't they do a review on me so that they know they should pick me up because I'm nice? Yeah.
No, it goes both ways.
I'm not signed up.
I guess it's all under my name then.
You can't be an Uber driver. Damn, you'd be fast. But with the tickets you've gotten, I'm sorry. You'd have
but
to.
you know you'd get to the airport on time.
You'd have
I'm the
to
one who
drive
drove you.
for Goober. All right, Spencer Cox.
Goober?
Goober.
What's that?
Well, it's like you're a goober.
Ooh.
Spencer Cox was the governor, and that was awesome.
This was the funniest thing. Number one, I do love they have a sense of humor. There's Cox. He's sitting there on the governor's desk, feet up, and there's Governor Herbert going, dude, I'm just going in for dental surgery or something.
Oh, is that what happened? I didn't know how it worked.
Well, no, it was funny. He actually had to go in to remove some kidney stones, and so they put him under. And I guess the rule is if you go under general anesthesia,
Right.
then the lieutenant governor, the secondary position, has to move into first, and it has to be like a legal transfer of governing duties to make sure that I guess someone's always at the helm.
My
And I'm thinking,
gosh.
it was like 60 minutes. I feel like the state could have been okay for that amount of time, but they do have to do a formal transfer.
I would go nuts.
But it was
I
just-
would make proclamations. Everyone has to wear a clown nose. When the governor woke up and came home, there would be some crazy. There'd be a bounce house in the governor's mansion. The state capitol would be painted blue. There'd be screaming eagles hanging on State Street. All
Because
in 1
why not?
hour. Pudding would flow from faucets everywhere.
I just thought it was pretty funny, though. And then he has to transmit another written declaration to the Supreme Court indicating that his temporary disability had ended. Isn't that funny? And Spencer Cox, who we've interviewed before, who's very funny, the
He is
lieutenant
funny.
governor,
He is
he
funny.
went on Twitter and said, almost forgot to update my profile.
Right.
1 hour Utah governor.
Governor.
It was
Put that
pretty
on your
cute.
resume, huh?
It was funny. I
That's
like that.
funny.
Okay, weirdest thing ever.
Does this story have a good ending? Because I'm rather concerned.
Right now it is a kind of in limbo, but search and rescue crews ran up to Davis County. There were a group of hikers yesterday
Right.
that were going through a creek, and there was a naked and unconscious man lying in the creek. Now that's a bad sign, it being winter and him being naked.
In water,
My first thought was maybe hypothermia, because when you're hardcore hypothermia, your body...
you lose your mind.
Well, your
too.
body actually tells you that you're hot, which is why they do find a lot of victims of hypothermia taking their naked or most of their clothes off, because they actually think they're hot. But they're questioning more towards the chemical or alcoholic
So
area.
did he die?
No, he has hypothermia. He's taken by life flight to a local hospital. The Davis County Sheriff's Office went, this is just one of those really weird situations where we're going to have to do some research on who the guy is. So basically, they have to wait for him to regain consciousness to see if he can give them any clue of why he was naked and in the water and who he is and how they can help. But I just can't imagine being the hikers, because it was a big family group,
Yeah.
walking around the corner going,
Naked dude.
that would be a man. So I guess they were scared to do anything with him because they didn't know, so they got him out of the water, and while someone else was calling 911 and put their coats
believe.
over him, but they didn't know.
I mean,
What
it would
to
take like 5 minutes in water at this temperature to start having major effect on you.
And there's no telling how long he was in there, but he was
grief.
alive, so I guess
All right.
there's that.
Let's get some more information, shall we?
Yeah, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by, first of all, Fink and McGregor, the mortgage is made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. They will give you all the information you need. And believe me, getting a mortgage from these guys takes like a month. It's wonderful. And by the Denali Medical Center, if you're suffering from joint issues or constant migraines, they can get rid of these for you, and they can do it without opioids. It's going to change your life. And All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. If you need help swapping something out or getting something repaired, they're the guys you can call. Go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news on Monday, January 29th on GebhardtDaily.com. A commercial building housing rubber and plastic products went up in flames in Sandy Sunday night. Derek Maxfield, Deputy Fire Chief of Sandy Fire Department, said an alarm was received about 8 p.m. indicating a fire at the warehouse at 547 West, 9320 South. As crews were en route, they saw a column of heavy black smoke and called for a full assignment, Maxfield said. The business, South Valley Specialty Products, makes rubber and plastic moldings and similar items. Maxfield wasn't able to estimate the cost of damages, but he said the building is a total loss. There were no reported injuries, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. A man was injured and a pet is missing after an early morning fire Sunday in Riverton. Crews were called to 13400 South, 1497 West about 1 a.m. When first responders arrived, they found a 3-car garage with 3 vehicles inside, fully engulfed in flames. The fire was also spreading to the home. Firefighters worked to knock down the flames while paramedics attended to an adult male who was found outside the home with burns to both of his arms. He was taken to the hospital by ground ambulance with what were believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And Utah's Hogle Zoo is on the lookout for a big cat that escaped from its enclosure over the weekend, but visitors shouldn't worry too much, as the big cat weighs only 8 pounds. Mushu, a 10-year-old male palace cat, was found to be missing by his keepers Sunday morning. Mushu is not dangerous, officials said. Keepers checked for Mushu around 8 a.m. Sunday and discovered he was missing from the outside habitat. Officials believe he may have climbed past the anti-climb barriers through the top mesh. Keepers are planting familiar scents and have food ready to entice the kitty to stick around. And time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists. If you despise winter weather, you're in luck, as daytime temperatures will reach the mid-50s this week. That's about 10 degrees above the normal for this time of year. Chances of rain or snow are about 0% right now, and the next chance for precipitation won't be until this weekend. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GebhardtDaily.com. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy.
All right, thank you, Daisy. All right, All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, they've got a deal going on right now. If you put together a package, and that includes your furnace and your AC, because they work together, you can save $2,000. Plus, they're going to give you an air scrubber for free, and that will make the air in your home more healthy for you and your family. That's $3,200 in free equipment. That means you get basically your furnace free. Just go to All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. All right, so Always Black Friday. Is this the Tell Me Something Good segment?
Always Black Friday. They're up on 12th Street in Ogden, brand new store. They have ridiculously good prices, 30 to 75% off every day. Amazing high-end electronics like drones and Beats by Dre. They're pretty cool. But this is such a sweet story, but it still amazes me because it's like, you would think in public school this stuff would be
inner city, older school, Baltimore, public school, underheated. They're experiencing much colder temperatures than usual, and some people just didn't think when they were putting it in. The furnace
heating system that may not be adequate. Because
we would never have an issue with this being a problem. Well, it does, and the rooms are so cold for her young students, and this is Samara Jones, that the kids have to keep all their winter stuff on, gloves and hats and stuff like that. And, I mean, can you imagine kids being cold and trying to learn and no. So
and a lot of these kids don't have adequate cold weather gear either because, once again, it never gets that cold in Baltimore.
So she went on a GoFundMe deal. She needed 600 space heaters. That's a lot of space heaters.
That's a lot of space heaters.
That's a lot. So she went GoFundMe, and they figured out that what she needed was about $20,000. That's asking a lot. But talked about her kids. And
these are cold little kids, though.
right. One of the NFL linebackers for Baltimore, Erin, he said, you know what? I'm in. And he started pushing it on his social media and made a
Which
donation.
is ridiculously powerful,
It is huge. So remember, they were going for $20,000. Well, at $80,000, they started buying space heaters. And then, of course, the word went out, and they started getting packages of coats and boots and sweaters and everything that's insulated for the kids. How cool is that?
Water bottles, school supplies. I mean, that was the thing that was wonderful. People started going, okay, what else can I give?
Right.
And so, I mean, not only did they outfit her school, but several others as well.
That is cool. That is a good tell me something good.
It just seems so random because you wouldn't expect it, and your logical thing would be, why aren't the schools warm enough? But yeah, if you never get those kind of temperatures.
Well, I was growing up in Lexington, Massachusetts. The problem with having snow days is they tack the days on at the end of the year. And
well, given the snow you could be halfway through July doing makeup.
None of our buildings or schools had air conditioning. We had windows. You know, when I used to walk to school 4 miles, always uphill, they'd hang you on, and the humid heat would just drive you crazy, you know. And we didn't learn anything, nothing.
You were basically like little sweating islands of protoplasm.
Isn't that so weird that my school didn't have air conditioning?
I think back, if you think back when I went to elementary school, I don't think we did either. And we're an extremely hot state during the summer, but I think we used fans.
Yes.
But now
that were hand pedaled.
Probably at this point, yeah.
All right, Christopher's. First of all, thank you for watching. We appreciate it so much. And just as a little thing, every week we give away a dinner for 4 at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse and Place of Happiness.
Do you realize we've only been on the air 11 months and we're closing in on 3
No,
million?
actually, Richard has this in his brain. Hang on
No,
one second.
we came on February 27th, I think. Anyway, if you would like to enter to win the dinners for 4 at Christopher's, which is glorious, by the way, all you have to do is just drop a comment on the show today. We pick a winner every Friday. You can do this if you go to the Facebook page for Gephardt Daily, Gephardt Approved. Or if you're joining the conversation here on the Todd and Erin Facebook page, welcome. Just drop a comment. You are automatically entered, and then we draw a winner on Friday. So I was correct? 1 month and almost 3 million.
Always, dear. YouTube is killing people at an incredible rate. We'll tell you what that is coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Gephardt approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday! Oh, this is a story. This is so cool because I was watching
it's the morning cam again.
Oh, the morning cam.
Brio Technologies.
I was watching Anthony Bourdain on CNN do his travel story and about hurricanes, and they went to Puerto Rico and they were talking about the hurricanes, and the story is about hurricanes.
No, it's hurricane. It's Hurricane, Utah. Anyone who's from southern Utah, my mom's family, the Tweedies, are from Hurricane, Utah.
Is that close to Hooper?
It's not, but it is right next door to Virgin. So every time my sisters and I took a road trip, we always had to pause and take a picture because it's cool. And then you head on down to St. George from Hurricane. But this is actually a really scary story. This is Tommy and Bob Mariner. They were on an adventure. They were going to go explore around Kolob Mountain. They had Nextera, so they had 4-wheel drive, and they were doing really well. And Bob said, we saw a road that said no snowplow. But they figured we've got...
That's like a challenge.
4-wheel drive, and Now, here's the thing. This is an elderly couple. This is a couple in their 70s.
Oh, no.
So they're cool. I mean, so they continued to travel up the road. Then it started to show snow, then ice. And then they said, okay, the snow's so deep, we're going to have to turn around. Then the Xterra got stuck. She said, so they're trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. And he says, we're going to have to spend the night in the car. She goes, well, we better lock the doors. And he goes, we're up at 15, how many feet?
1,000.
We're up at 10,000 feet. Who do you think is going to be up here?
Right. Abominable snowman.
The bears.
Bigfoot.
And they basically said that was the only comedic part of the experience. They slept overnight, and they would turn the engine on every now and then just to keep the heat up.
Right.
Then they took a look outside and saw the snow had piled up around their tires. And there was no way that they were going to be able to last. I mean, there was no way they're getting out there. And so after a while...
It's too far to walk?
No way.
And they're 70.
Yeah, not going to happen. So...
Okay.
At this point, they're like, we should leave a message for our kids.
What do you mean?
Because it had been long enough that they're like, this is not going to...
They think they're going to die?
They think they're going to freeze to death. Because they're out of gas. The snow is piling higher. They're like, this is it. So they were literally pulling out a notebook and trying to think, what can I say to my kids before we freeze to death? To tell them that we love them.
Gosh.
And that this is our last message. And as they're putting their pen to paper, she looks out the back window. She goes, there's a Jeep. Somebody had been coming along, and apparently their kids had called search and rescue.
Sure.
Our parents didn't come home, and we always check on them.
Right.
And so Washington County Search and Rescue found them almost immediately.
Oh.
And it's like, but she said it was so bizarre to be holding the pen just like this, and then the Jeep came racing up right behind them. So, good news, but the weirdest timing ever. But I like that she wanted to lock the doors.
You know, it'd be funny if before they saw the Jeep, then they're sitting there writing and they go, "Dear Johnny, you've always been a disappointment to me. You're out of the..." And then they see the Jeep and they're like, "Oh, fine. There we go. We're all good."
We can clear that up. No problem.
YouTube. I just watched this thing on YouTube yesterday. And Zoe and I like to watch Zoe.
Funny cat videos.
Funny cat videos.
There's a lot of that. That's Todd's personal sacrifice.
So I just looked for the longest compilation and I start it for and I can disappear. The death rate has increased 46% due to YouTube in the emergency rooms.
What death rate is this?
People killing themselves.
Extreme sports.
And trying to show the video so they look cool. And they're putting themselves, they're going farther than they should. They're going faster than they should. That's way beyond their ability. I saw yesterday, and if you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. They have a car parked sideways, just sitting there. And all of a sudden, running into the frame is a guy with not a helmet on.
Oh, is he doing Parker?
He was trying to break the side window with his head. Now, boom, and then he falls down. You go, glad that's over. He stands up, full on contact, smashing his head against the window. I mean, we're talking every hit, another concussion. I mean, they're piling up at this point. He'll never play in the NFL. Ask Steve Young. And you're just looking at this guy going, why?
What is wrong with you?
And he'd go, oh, my head, and I'd get up again, he'd smash it against the car. And you were just, so anyway, the death is, from YouTube has gone up 46% since 2 years ago.
That's Centers for Disease Control. That's absolutely right. But the thing is that they were talking about that, like how many different problems they were having now with avalanche control, because there were so many people who were doing backcountry skiing or snowboarding and trying to do the extreme sport with this. And so not only were they having problems with those people trying to do the video, but then the next innocents who went up there were also getting nailed as well.
I think it's called high banking. If you're a snowmobile, you know what I'm saying. They tear up a hill, right? And they get up to as far as they can, and they turn the machine around. So they go to the full extent of the machine's ability. And then they turn around, they come back down. Well, it's a great way to trigger avalanches. So not only does the person on the snowmobile get nailed, also the people taking the video. Because, you got to get on video. Otherwise, it didn't happen. Idiots.
Wow. No, but traumatic brain injuries up. I mean, and then search and rescue is also exploding in a lot of these different areas, because once that biker down in southern Utah ends up off a cliff and in a gully, somebody's got to go get him.
That's true.
So, Wow.
Here, hold my beer is killing people.
I'm kind of wondering if, and it's not fair, I guess, to ask YouTube to like police something like that, because it's like, what are they supposed to do? They're unimaginably massive video submission.
It's
I'm just wondering if there's some sort of regulatory guidelines, like
there is
death-defying things. You can't.
No, it's called the Darwin effect. People thinning themselves from the herd because they just don't have the brains to, and there's no way to moderate it. And people are just like, okay, you can do the YouTube, but you can't have the jump higher than 12 feet.
Yeah, I guess there's no real way to do it.
You can't unteach stupid.
All right, they're claiming this is the Swedish way to sleep, and I question this, but okay.
I'm having a sleep study done. I don't know if you knew that.
Do you want me to get one of these little bags for you then?
What bag?
It's from IKEA, and it's really, really weird. They have, here in America, we traditionally have the fitted sheet,
What
the
does
top
that say?
sheet. They call it the Together Bundle.
Together Bundle.
And basically what it is two separate little bedding bags. They're like sleeping bags, but they're bedding, which is, the bottom top and then the comforter, except for they're two separate. And according to the press release, they say 2/3 of people are feeling fatigued by sleeping routinely badly. And they say that bed sharers have it worse. So what they're feeling is because it's too hot, too cold, and this is true. You like to be covered in blankets to the point where you want to make sure that your chest compression will probably almost kill you.
I like the blankets.
I want a sheet, and I'm fine with that. So
this
what
is
they're
good
claiming is this is the thing that will save everybody.
Also,
you get the bundles, you sleep on the same bed, but not really.
So in other words, what you have is no children, because it's birth control in a bag. This is what they used to do back in the 1800s. Because it was so stinking cold in houses, they used to have the guy who came over to talk with their daughter, and they put them both in bed with a board in between them. The board was like this tall, and there was no, and so they would lay there covered up and be able to spend time together, but yet wouldn't be, So the sleeping bag.
I don't care what era it is. Young people are young people, really.
Well, you're laying in bed.
The board's going to control everything. That board's going to fix it all. Yeah, really?
It's like the wall.
That's adorable.
All right, so that's interesting.
No, but the trouble is they actually have some sleep medicine people who are saying, it actually probably would help. But I'm just saying, the problem with this, though, is that, you may fix some of the sleep problems with the Together Bundle, but isn't one of the main things about being with your partners that you snuggle? I mean, that's our thing. I mean, even if you like to be warm and I like to be cold, we still snuggle. There's some part of our body touching the other. You can't do that if you're both in separate things.
I remember questioning...
And that's like a closeness thing. That's one of those things that rebuilds that bank of closeness after a long day.
I remember questioning my grandparents while they had separate beds.
I saw the old-fashioned shows like the Dick Van Dyke show where they had separate beds.
They had a rule. There was a censor rule. And the censor rule was you always had to keep one foot on the floor on television shows when you were by a bed.
But if you're a married couple, wouldn't most people logically assume you would have the same bed?
No. They did at home, but not on TV.
Okay.
You have to remember back there, you couldn't say the word toilet. Back when the censors ran the networks, you had to say water closet.
Boy, things have changed these days. That's okay.
I'm
sorry, but that's so weird.
The new rule now is you have to have 1 foot on the ceiling.
Probably. Okay, I love Florida because if there's ever a day that I'm thinking, nothing interesting has happened in Utah today, I go,
just look to Florida.
Something's happened there. Richard, our photographer, is from Florida, and he
that
actually agrees
with us.
He does. Yeah. All right, Malachi Love Robinson is 19. He's been fighting 12 felony charges concerning allegations
of what?
That he practiced medicine without a license and that he stole money from an 86-year-old woman's bank account. Now, he was nailed in Virginia based on the fact that he was using this woman's credit card and buying cars and different things.
What kind of doctor?
But this all started down in Florida, where apparently he was making house calls in order to
away it's fake.
In order to treat stomach pains in elderly people, and they said he was illegally operating a medical practice, office, lab coat, stethoscope.
Right.
And so he'd have people come to him. He would go out and do house calls. And
he was taking old people's money.
and then, of course, he was charging like $800 per visit.
Right.
And so now he's been tried on charges of practicing medicine without a license. However, he has denied the charges, saying he never claimed he was actually a medical doctor. He says, I have a doctorate from the Universal Life Church, which sells them online for $29.99.
I could be a pastor, too.
Well, I actually have one of those, remember?
Oh, that's true.
I could marry you.
Doogie Howser.
I could marry
Wasn't that
you.
the name of the show, The Young Doctor?
Yeah,
He was
Neil
a kid.
Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Because he looks kind of young.
Because apparently he was 17 when he started practicing medicine.
17?
$800 a house call. And he had an office.
And he made house calls.
Okay.
Hey, Madonna's up to something weird.
Yeah, that's...
And she evidently likes handbags.
And
we'll,
not wearing shirts.
And we'll tell you what that means coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink & McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple of years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink & McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream at GephartDaily.com. Hollywood. I saw the picture of this. Brought to you by
Connect Heating and Air, and of course they are the ones at Utah Heating and Cooling that can take care of all your commercial properties, and they'll just do a maintenance schedule for you.
Perfect.
Hollywood Connection. You saw this picture, right?
I saw this picture of Madonna. Do we have a picture of
Now,
Madonna?
God bless her. Madonna really likes her Louis Vuitton handbag. Now, this is a picture of Madonna. She's got braces. I don't know if you know that, and apparently she went a little overboard on the lip plumper. I had to put the little
Squid.
octopus down there at the bottom because it was showing parts of Madonna that no one really needed to see.
Right.
So she was so excited about her new $4,000 Louis Vuitton handbag with a picture of Mona Lisa on it that she had to share her joy
share
with
it
all
with
of
us.
us, wearing no clothes and her handbag, and she is almost unrecognizable there.
She really is, isn't
I
she?
mean, I'm all for plumping the lips, but that's like
Different.
to an unrecognizable level. And
Why?
And she's insisted on wearing braces, and no one's quite sure why
Wow.
because her teeth were even, except for that
The
gap
gap.
between.
I like the gap.
But part of it is they're saying that it's like a gangsta thing, that gangsta rapper, that they like wearing braces to show that they can afford the expensive braces or something.
If she closes the gap, which she is kind of known for, there's
Oh,
several.
the gap between her middle teeth?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's other celebrities that have it. The guy who played, I want to say Orifice, but it's not, in the Matrix, the African American guy. What?
Neat. Morpheus.
So I just looked up it up in People, and they're diamond
Stacey.
grills
Oh,
rather than
is that
braces,
it?
which is even worse in a way because like she's not from Compton.
I know,
You
right?
Really?
Is that what it is? I wondered.
Yeah, she
okay.
has 2 diamond grills on her front teeth.
Okay.
So lame. I just looked at the picture. I was like, oh my god.
Okay, she's like 60 years old and she's a mother.
No grill.
Let's not shame. Let's not shame. Let's not shame.
No. I'm with Daisy.
It's the fact she has a fake English accent that should really bother you.
That's actually a good point, Daisy. Wow.
Hey.
Diamond grills.
You just run out of things to do to yourself. You know what this is like? This is like working in a hair salon. Because you're sitting there with idle hands, the next thing you know, your hair is blue.
You know, the only thing I don't get about that is that really, it's like, no, I don't care what age you are. You get to be sexy, and I'm all for it. And
absolutely.
Totally.
Look at me.
But it's like, if I'm 60 and I'm a mom, I'm not going to go putting a diamond grill on my teeth and going topless with my Louis Vuitton bag.
Well, number one, we can't afford that bag.
Either one of those things,
like
so that's not going to be a problem.
It's like $4,000.
And the diamond grill, I guess, is out too, right? I am never going to be hip-hop.
We could do
never.
Aluminum foil.
So it's almost as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're saving all our money for Zoe.
So far right now, you got foil in your teeth and you're naked. That's it, because the bag we can't afford. You can have a Smith's bag, one of those recycling ones. Just hold it up like this and swallow the tin foil. That's what I call a fun Saturday night.
I'm never going to be cool.
Box
oh my
office.
God.
Who did what over the weekend?
All right, I was really rooting for this just because the author of the original Maze Runner books is here from Utah. But Maze Runner Death Cure, #1 at the box office. 23.5 million. It was fairly modest, but it was still really good because this is the third in the series. That was #1. Jumanji actually still held in for #2. But if you haven't seen Death Cure yet, this is actually a really cool movie. I've been excited about how well they adapted the book. Let's have a look.
They took you because you're immune to a plague that's wiping out the human race. They think you're worth sacrificing to find a...
It was interesting because one of the reasons that they had to hold off on finishing this is because apparently Dylan, who of course is the lead in this, actually got injured in the last one, and he had 3 more movies coming up, and he's like, and they injured his back, and so he had to like actually work it through a brace through his next 2 movies, which were like big high action movies.
Wow.
So he's like, you're gonna have to give me a minute before I can do this one. But so yeah, it did really well. Then Hostels came in. Greatest Showman was 4th.
Now,
and then
how is that doing? Because at first everybody's kind of like, but now there's a
Greatest Showman's up to 126 million.
passion about it.
Yeah, here in America and worldwide, it's around 500 million. So it's doing really well because they were thinking it was going to be one of those. It'll be okay. It might crack 100.
Right.
But it's doing really well. But I'm very sad about 12 Strong. It's not doing well at all. It's going to totally flop, and that's too bad.
All right, let's move. Information time. Let's see. Coming up, companion dogs. In your store, in your grocery store,
in your restaurant,
in your face.
We'll explain in a minute. Let's go to Daisy. Yeah. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She's brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. They have like a 4-minute thing there that you run through. It'll give you a whole different group of ideas of mortgages that you're good for, and someone can call you back within the next business day. Also by Liberate a Man. But if you want to reclaim your life and free yourself from adult addiction, all you have to do is go to liberateaman.com. And also by Black Diamond Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They're Black Diamond experts at blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines on Monday, January 29th on Gephardt Daily. A suicide car bombing in Afghanistan on Saturday killed 103 people and left hundreds more injured. An attacker blew up an ambulance laden with explosives near a security checkpoint in Kabul on a street housing government buildings. 103 people died in the attack and 235 more were injured. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the bombing, which killed mostly civilians, according to Kabul police. 4 people were injured in a shooting at a car wash in Pennsylvania on Sunday morning, and the shooter is in critical condition. Police say the suspected shooter is 28 years old. He was hospitalized with a gunshot wound to the head and is not expected to survive. Officials say he was armed with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, a 9mm handgun, and a .308 rifle. They also say he was wearing body armor. Police have yet to establish a motive. And Ingvar Kamprad, founder of Swedish furniture giant IKEA, has died following a short illness. He was 91. IKEA said in a statement on its website that Kamprad died surrounded by loved ones at his home in Sweden. Kamprad founded IKEA when he was only 17 years old, using funds given to him by his father as a reward for his performance in school. His fortune was estimated at $28 billion by Forbes magazine. Kamprad admitted in a 1999 book about his life that he had been previously involved with Nazi groups, which he described as the biggest mistake of his life. And time now for another look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists. The week's forecast is shaping up to be pretty mild, with high temps in the mid-50s. That's about 10 degrees higher than the average at this time of year. Lows will hover in the 30s. Chance of precipitation is about 0% until the weekend, when a weak storm front is expected to make its way inside the state. For more news across the nation and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, go ahead.
Oh, Black Diamond Experts. Now, the reason why they are experts is because with electric, plumbing, heating, and air, they cover everything in the house. So maybe you need something swapped out. Maybe you need something repaired. Maybe you want to rebuild your entire heating system because the old thing sucks and it's like basically draining all of your money. This is something they can do for you. If there's 24-hour emergencies, they can also send somebody out 24/7 because that's what they actually do. And they're growing, so you're going to see them more and more along the Wasatch Front. They have a new place up in Ogden now as well. Let them make it easy on you. Basically, you need somebody who's going to know how to fix everything in the house. And if you call them, they'll come and they'll do all those things. Just put them on your board with all the other people you trust. It's blackdiamondexpert.com.
This is interesting, and I just saw something on the news about this. And it's talking about service animals. And they were talking about, I think you've seen people who might be in wheelchairs, right? And they drop something. And they have dogs who actually will pick it up and give it back to you. They have dogs who will turn off lights. They have dogs that can sense that their owner is having a seizure.
They can anticipate seizures before they happen.
And they basically go down and alert the person so they can get in a prone position and then stay there with the person. And there's other dogs who people, soldiers for post-traumatic. Mm-hmm. And the fact that stroking a dog can calm this person down who has been through horrific things. So the service dogs have been around for a while, and it costs a huge amount to get one because the months and months of training, especially fitting the need of that person.
Our nephew Zach did that. Do you remember? And this dog came to every single family gathering. This dog came everywhere because it is literally a 24/7 job. And training them is very precise and very exhausting and goes on for a very long time.
And on their vest it says, "Please do not pat me. I'm a service dog.
I'm working,
so don't do that." And so a lot of people have seen this, and a lot of people do get comfort from having it, but you've seen in the supermarket someone who's got a small dog in a bag, and it's a comfort animal. Now, in some cases, totally understand it, but Delta Airlines is not going to have it anymore because they have gotten to the point where there's been so many dogs peeing and puking and barking and acting up on planes that they actually want service dogs. Now, when I was working with our dog when he was young, I thought maybe I'll get a course. I can do a course online. We can teach certain things because our boys have autism, and they could help. And so Labradoodles were part of the dog that would be cool because they have a good temperament. And I started looking around, and there is no standard at the time, 6 years ago, for service animals.
So we had to go get him trained and worked with somebody else to get his therapy dog certification because it was nothing we could do on our own. We had to get someone who was a professional.
Right.
But it took a really long time, and Gil was very expensive.
There's other dogs. There's other people and websites. You just call and send $35. They'll send you a vest and a card that's laminated the dog can wear around its neck.
Well, the Restaurant Association down in Utah County actually got in trouble because they were saying, we really want to know if this is actually a service animal, because they were so sick of people bringing in dogs and they said even cats, even guinea pigs, and sitting them on the table or sitting them on the seat and having them eat with them, and they were like wetting the chairs and stuff. And it's like, that's really disgusting where somebody else is eating. So basically, Delta Airlines has cracked down, and they're saying, we need all the vaccinations, we need all the stuff within 2 weeks, we need the certification from an actual professional that this is a therapy dog.
Before you fly. So you have to go to the vet, you have to do all these things. And I thought to myself, and a lot of people, totally legit. But now you're going to have to go the extra step now to have a dog on a plane. And I was thinking, what if you had would you have anxiety bison? Right? You can see it like Haagen-Dazs ice cream, Baskin Robbins. You got a bison with you, and it just calms you down. If you've ever been around a bison, you know what I'm talking about. Or the comfort of a condor. Freaking 12-foot wingspan.
Comfort condor. Isn't it hard to keep the little vest on the condor?
You could have a guppy in a bag of water. And not only do you have a way to hydrate yourself, but you have a guppy.
I'm pretty sure Delta Airlines would be happier with the guppy than they would be with the Comfort Bison. So
I think it's funny.
I like the Comfort Condor.
And I love dogs. I seriously do. And you know what? You know who's allowed pets in their store is PetSmart. And they have been letting...
That seems like a given, though,
and
doesn't
the dogs can go in and pick out their favorite toy because they keep them at the level where the dogs can pick them up. But I've noticed a lot on the end aisles, on those corners, dogs peeing feverishly a lot.
Feverishly.
Yeah, that too.
To cover up somebody else's odor and
right.
scent. Yeah.
Right.
That's great. Marking the territory in a store.
All right, coming
Never
up.
works. All right, coming up. This is interesting. I know people are into body art, and I know that there's all kinds of different ink and different things you do, but there's every now and then you see one and you go, this makes no logical sense.
Next.
We'll tell you.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
What is this, Spaceman on Parade?
That is epic.
I love the music.
I know, it's perfect for it, too.
So funny. All right, welcome back. Famous gay guy.
Well, you may not remember the
in
story.
Utah.
Josh Weed, he's a famous gay married Mormon, and basically he had come out as gay, and his wife Lolly is straight, obviously, and they said it is possible to have a platonic relationship and stay married and stay in the church and do all of these things. He's a marriage and family therapist, and they, after 5 years after announcing this, they've announced their divorce. Says, today we need to let you know that Lolly and I are divorcing. And then they talked about their accidental rise into the media spotlight when they explained that, they thought that you could make this work after being gay and also staying married to a straight person. And it's very interesting. They basically talked about how this happened and that he had finally realized that it was not a sustainable relationship.
Right.
They have children.
Right.
If it makes it hard, but it is interesting. They also apologized to the LGBTQ community. They said, we're so incredibly sorry for the ways that our posts have been used to bully others. Because apparently people were going, see, you could do this if you wanted.
Oh, I see.
We're sorry if our story made it easier for people in your life to reject you and that your difficult path is being wrong. We're sorry to any gay Mormon who received criticism, backlash, or hatred as a result of our story. And we're sorry to let anyone who felt a measure of false peace, which is pretty interesting. So it's difficult. But he says, I just didn't feel like I could make this stance anymore, make it work.
Right.
And frankly, I have the biggest respect for Lolly, his wife, because I can't even imagine a situation more difficult for her and especially as straight, and your husband has chosen this orientation, to say, I'll still try to make this work.
Right.
And she did everything she could.
Certain dedication to the kids. Right?
So, yeah, in any case, they are getting divorced, and that's very sad.
Now, I've been thinking about getting a tattoo. Erin is totally against it. She said something in the realm of, I'll light you on fire.
I don't think it was that strong. I think it was more like, I'll just light that portion of your body on fire.
My shoulder. You make it sound like something else. So anyway,
nice
thinking about it,
weirdo.
Thinking about it, and I came up with something, and it would be a wave file. You know what a wave file is, right?
I know, and then he made it all romantic, so I look like a bad person.
Hang on. Oh wait, I can do it on this camera right here. So, you've seen this when people are recording junk.
See it.
Can't see it. There it is. See it right there. So up and down lines, and it follows your voice. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do one of those, but I wanted to record Erin saying I love you, and then transfer that onto my body. And then I could do it with the Zoe, and I could do it with the boys, and I could do it with Gil, our dog. Then they came out with, and this might make you want to go do this, is they can do the wave file, and there's an app you put on your phone, and you sweep it across it, and it says it. There's other ones that look three-dimensional and like opening a part of your body, and inside there are gears and stuff like that.
One of our nieces, Kendra or Caitlin, I can't remember which, has like a henna-colored tattoo, which is really beautiful. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
So there's a woman, and her name is Kate Bullen, and she is proud of her lifestyle. And you know what? All the power to you. All power to you. Well, let's take a look. This is what she looks like, because she decided that the word vegan needed to be tattooed over one of her eyebrows, because she's very proud of her sometimes difficult lifestyle, because eating vegan takes a certain amount of concentration and adapting to that, you know.
I was a vegetarian for like 10 years, and I tried being full vegan for like, I think 6 months, and I'm like,
hard.
I can't do this.
It's hard.
It's a commitment. It's a serious
really
commitment.
Is. But she looks like she's in her 20s. And you know, a lifetime is a long time to do the vegan thing. And I'm thinking, you know, at some point, you're going to walk into a barbecue place, and you're going to see her over there just like knee deep in barbecue sauce, just going, and she'll look up and she'll go, I know. Nothing to see here. And just chewing on this beef bone and going to town on it.
I just think any tattoo on your face is like, you know, you're making a commitment here.
It's a big one.
Are you sure you want to go with this? Because anything on your face is really...
makes a statement.
Yeah.
If I was going to put one on my face, over this eyebrow, would say, I'm with stupid, and an arrow pointing at the other eyebrow.
Because that'd be funny, because if you like the t-shirts.
See, it's like,
Because if you're like, that's good. Okay.
No.
All right, this is kind of cool. I had no idea. I kind of think that she's kind of screwing around with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's engagement. Kate Middleton decided to up and get pregnant again for the third time. That's fine. Prince William and Kate, like, you guys have already got,
you make it sound like she's like, this is the only reason she got married.
No. But Kate Middleton, they've been married for a long time, have the 2 kids.
Right.
And she's pregnant again with their 3rd child.
Nice.
I did not know that. So showed it picture. Isn't she adorable? I have to admit, I really like her.
They're always adorable.
Now, see, here's what I find so unfair. You look at this woman, and she's lovely, and she's wearing this elegant blue coat with just this cute little bump. Now, girls, let's all go back to that period in our pregnancy when we were going to this level. And you may remember that we had the swollen ankles, and in my case, my entire face swelled up, and I basically looked like a balloon from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I think you're gorgeous.
I love you so much. And here's Kate.
She looks like
with her lean.
Just
everything's still in place. There's no, broken blood vessels. Her ankles are like the size of a cantaloupe. None of those things.
Just doing it in a Duchess-like way. She's a Duchess, right?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm very happy for you, Kate.
And then the birth was kind of, you can imagine.
It's going to be like bluebirds.
It'll be that.
You know, like,
there's your baby.
You know, and the hummingbirds will bring the baby to her.
Oh, no, they bring a diaper. They fly in a diaper and land it.
And meanwhile, I'll be the one who had 100 pounds of fluid.
You were just out cold in the ICU for 4 days. Just like the TLC channel.
Baby story.
Baby
we used to
story.
watch that obsessively the whole time I was pregnant. I'm like, look, it's going to be like that.
And I'm like in the hospital running from the ICU down to the boys in the nursery going, this isn't the crap they showed me. Son of a gun.
I'm happy for you, Kate. It's just...
Here's good news if you're a cat owner. We already talked about dogs today. Grumpy the cat. We've all seen the
Grumpy cat.
We've seen
It's
pictures.
not Grumpy the cat, it's Grumpy cat.
Grumpy cat. Look at that. And when Grumpy makes a face, it looks grumpy. And so, actually, for $150,000, a certain coffee company paid Grumpy Cat to do this so they could put his face on a drink that they made. It's Grumpachino. See that? Grumpachino.
Grumpachino.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
And everybody's happy. The cat had $150,000.
I can't believe his real name is tartar sauce.
And then trouble began. The coffee company went, the Grumpachino is like kicking some butt. Let's put on some other products of ours. And they did. Grumpy Cat was grumpy. So he took them to court in violation of copyright.
You can copyright a cat now.
Well, they used his name and his photo, and they put it on other products. The original idea was the Grumpachino was the thing they were selling them. Period. But then it showed up on all these different products, and they went, hey, what are you doing? They went, nah. And it went to court. Grumpy Cat is now the proud owner of $710,000.
That's a lot of Grumpy Cappuccinos.
That's a lot of catnip. Oh, it's all going to go south for him. He's got all the money, next thing you know.
Fine cars and bling. Catnip everywhere.
Furless girl cats running around. What are those sphinxy ones? What do they call them? The cats that have no hair. And they look like the house elf on Harry Potter. What? Not that I've thought about this. It's not the way, no. So anyway, not too bad, huh? $710,000 for a cat.
Don't they get all the Grumpy Cat merchandising too?
Yeah. Well, they did.
This is a multi-million-dollar cat.
This is a multi-million-dollar cat. The cat won everything. Now they can negotiate if they want to continue using the Grumpy Cat, but that would cost them more money. So anyway, there you go.
I like Grumpy Cat as well as the next person. It's a great
too.
name, but it's like...
All right, so first of all, do not forget the Christopher's thing. Drop a comment.
Please do.
And do that. We give that away every Friday. We had fun today. Thanks for watching. And we really mean that this time. Not like before. Today we're really serious. And you guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.